The forest floor is slick with blood, some of it mine. My bare feet pound against frozen earth as winter wind tears through my thin dress. Behind me, howls split the night. Not the hunting calls of ordinary wolves. These are war cries. I press my palm against the gash in my side where claws ripped through fabric and flesh. The scent of my blood hangs in the air like a beacon, and I know they're getting closer. 3 days ago, I was invisible. A nothing. An omega without a pack, scrubbing floors in my village's tavern, keeping my head down, my scent suppressed. Now I'm prey. The Moonstone pack came at dawn. They torched homes, scattered families, and their alpha, the crown prince himself, stood in the village square with ice in his silver eyes and said one word, her. I didn't wait to find out why. I ran. But you can't outrun destiny. And you can't outrun a wolf who's already caught your scent. Sudden silence. A twig snaps. He's here. If you're already hooked by this story, don't let the algorithm steal it from you. Hit that subscribe button right now and ring the notification bell for Moonlight mate stories where every tale burns with passion, power, and impossible choices. Now, let's see who's been hunting our heroine. He steps from the shadows like he was born from them, tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in black leather that makes him look more mercenary than prince. His eyes glow silver in the darkness, wolf and man existing in the same breath. Elara. My name on his lips sounds like a sentence. I stumble backward, my hand finding the rough bark of an ancient oak. How do you know my name? I've known about it for 6 months. His voice is granite and smoke. Since the night the curse mark appeared on my chest and the oracle screamed your name until her throat bled. The wound at my side throbs. I'm dizzy from blood loss, from fear, from the way he's looking at me, not with hunger, but with something far more dangerous. Recognition. I don't know what you want, I whisper, but I'm not going with you. He moves faster than thought itself, suddenly close enough that I can smell cedar and winter on his skin. His hand hovers near my wound but doesn't touch. You're bleeding out. My pack is 30 seconds behind me, and they won't stop to ask questions. So you have 2 choices, little Omega. His eyes lock onto mine, and I see the war raging beneath his controlled exterior. Pain. Desperation. Something almost like regret. Come with me willingly and live. Or stay here and let them tear you apart looking for answers neither of us has yet. Why me? My voice breaks. Because you're the only one who can break my family's curse. And if you don't. His jaw clenches. I'm dead in 8 days. I let him carry me. Not because I trust him, but because my legs won't hold me anymore. As the forest blurs past, memory claws its way up my throat. I was 7 when the silver flame first appeared. It crawled up my fingertips during a full moon ceremony, a cold fire that didn't burn but made every wolf in the clearing back away in terror. Cursed, the pack elders whispered. Abomination. My mother, my brave, beautiful mother, begged them to let me stay. She's just a child. She can learn control. But fear is a faster teacher than love. They banished us both. Sent us to live among humans in a border village where wolves were myths and I could pretend to be normal. Where I could bury the silver flame so deep that sometimes I almost forgot it existed. Until the night my mother died. Until the flame erupted from my grief and turned our small cottage into a frozen monument. Until I ran again, alone this time, with nothing but shame and the memory of her final words. You are not a curse, Elara. You are a reckoning. The Alpha, Prince Kirin, I learn his name is, sets me down in a clearing where a black horse waits. His hands are surprisingly gentle as he produces a leather flask. Drink. It'll help the healing. I eye it suspiciously. How do I know it's not poison? If I wanted you dead, little wolf, you'd already be cold. He presses it into my hands. The curse has killed every firstborn heir in my family for 300 years. I'm the last of my line. So believe me when I say, your life is worth more to me than my own pride. I drink. The liquid burns like moonlight down my throat, and I feel my flesh knitting together, the pain receding to a dull ache. What makes you think I can break your curse? His eyes find mine in the darkness, and for the first time I see vulnerability there. Because the oracle saw you standing in a silver flame, and for the first time in 3 centuries. I didn't die in her vision. We ride for hours until dawn paints the sky in shades of blood and gold. The forest gives way to mountains, and tucked into the cliffside is a place that steals my breath. The Temple of the First Moon. Ancient stone columns rise from mist like the bones of sleeping giants. Runes I don't recognize pulse with faint blue light, and the air itself hums with power so old it makes my teeth ache. This is where it started, Kieran says, helping me dismount. His hand lingers on my waist a moment longer than necessary. Where my ancestor, the first Alpha, made a deal he shouldn't have. We walk through the temple entrance, and immediately I feel it, a pulling sensation in my chest, like invisible threads drawing me forward. The main chamber is vast, lit by shafts of moonlight that somehow penetrate solid stone. At its center stands an altar carved from black obsidian, and behind it, a massive mural that makes my heart stop. A woman wreathed in silver flame. Around her, wolves bow, some in reverence, some in fear. Above her head, a crown of moonlight. And at her feet, a shattered chain. The prophecy of the silver wolf, a new voice echoes through the chamber. An elderly woman emerges from the shadows, her eyes milky white with age or magic or both. The oracle. 300 years we've waited, she whispers, moving toward me with unexpected grace. 300 years of blood and death and sons who never lived to see their children born. She reaches out, and before I can flinch away, her gnarled fingers touch the hollow of my throat. The world explodes into vision. I see wolves running beneath a blood-red moon. I see a man, beautiful and terrible, laughing as he forges a chain from starlight and bone. I see a woman screaming as that chain wraps around her throat. I see the man's face twist with regret. Too late, always too late. You stole from me, the woman hisses, her voice echoing across centuries. So I curse your bloodline. Every firstborn son will die as my daughter died, alone, afraid, and far too young. Only when one of my blood returns. Only when she chooses freely. Only then will the debt be paid. I gasp back into myself, and the oracle is studying me with those blind eyes that see too much. You bear the mark of the silver wolf, she says softly. On your left shoulder blade. Born with it, I'd wager. My hand flies instinctively to the spot. The birthmark I've always hidden, shaped like a crescent moon wrapped in flame. How did you? Because I've been waiting for you, child. We all have. The oracle turns to Kieran. She is the descendant of the woman your ancestor wronged. The last of the silver wolf bloodline. And yes, Prince, she can break your curse. Kieran's face is a storm of emotions, hope, fear, wonder. What do I have to do? I hear myself ask. The oracle's smile is sad. You must choose him. Freely. Completely. Bond your soul to his before the 8th moon rises. Only a willing bond can break a curse forged in betrayal. My stomach drops. Bond? You mean? Become his mate, the oracle finishes. Or watch him die. And with him, the last hope of peace between the packs. His death will spark a war that will consume every wolf in the realm. She turns away, her voice floating back like smoke. Destiny is a heavy crown, silver wolf. I hope you're strong enough to wear it. We barely have time to process the oracle's words before the howls begin. Not Kieran's pack this time. These are different, higher, sharper, filled with rage. The Northern Coalition, Kieran growls, his body already shifting, muscles rippling beneath his skin. They've found us. Who are they? Wolves who want me dead. Who think my death will create a power vacuum they can fill. His eyes flash silver. Stay behind me. But I barely hear him because the temple entrance explodes inward, and 12 wolves pour through, massive, snarling, their eyes glowing red with bloodlust. At their head walks a man who makes even Kieran look small. He's scarred, savage, and when he grins, I see fangs that have tasted too much blood. Well, well. The dying prince and his little salvation project. His voice is gravel and violence. Did you really think we'd let you break the curse, Kieran? Your family's weakness is our opportunity. Stand down, Marcus, Kieran warns. This doesn't concern you. Everything concerns me when it changes the balance of power. Marcus's eyes slide to me, and I feel violated by that gaze. So this is the Omega who's supposed to save you? She looks like she'd break if I breathed on her too hard. Something hot and sharp coils in my stomach. The silver flame, waking up. She's under my protection, Kieran says, and I hear the wolf in his voice now, the alpha command that makes even Marcus's wolves whimper. For 7 more days, Marcus laughs. Then she's fair game. Unless. He cocks his head. Unless she'd like to choose a real alpha. One who isn't cursed. One who can actually give her strong pups. The flame in my stomach spreads to my fingertips. I'm not a prize to be claimed, I say quietly, but my voice carries through the chamber like thunder. Marcus takes a step toward me. You will be. When he's dead and his pack is scattered. You'll kneel before me and. Enough. The oracle's voice cracks like a whip, and suddenly the temple comes alive. The runes on the walls blaze with blue fire, and the ground trembles beneath our feet. This is sacred ground, Marcus of the Northern Coalition. You violate ancient law by bringing violence here. Ancient law died with the old ways, Marcus snarls, but he takes a step back. Even he fears whatever power the oracle commands. Then hear this new law, the oracle says, raising her staff. The silver wolf has 7 days to make her choice. Any who interfere before then will face the wrath of the first moon. Now go. The temple's power surges, and Marcus's wolves yelp, scrambling backward. Marcus himself holds his ground a moment longer, his eyes promising violence. 7 days, little Omega. Make them count. Then they're gone, and the temple falls silent except for my ragged breathing. Kieran turns to me, and the look in his eyes is complex, gratitude mixed with guilt. I'm sorry. You shouldn't have been dragged into pack politics. You mean I shouldn't have been kidnapped? The words come out sharper than I intend, fueled by adrenaline and fear and the flame still simmering under my skin. He flinches. I had no choice. There's always a choice. I'm shaking now, everything crashing down on me at once. You chose to take me. You chose to make me responsible for your life, your pack, your whole damn realm. Have you ever thought about what I want? What do you want? He asks softly. I want. My voice breaks. I want to go back to being invisible. I want my mother back. I want to not be terrified every moment that this power inside me will destroy everything I touch. I turn away, tears hot on my cheeks. I want to not be anyone's salvation. Silence stretches between us. Then I feel his presence behind me, close but not touching. I can't give you most of those things, he says quietly. But I can promise you this, if you choose to help me, I will never ask you to be anything but yourself. And when this is over, if we survive, you'll be free to go wherever you want. No obligations. No chains. Why should I believe you? Because I know what it's like to be trapped by destiny. His voice is raw with emotion I didn't expect. And I wouldn't wish that cage on anyone. Especially not you. The oracle offers us sanctuary in the temple for the night. Kieran builds a fire in one of the smaller chambers, a room with walls carved in scenes of wolves dancing beneath the full moon. I sit close to the flames, letting heat chase away the chill that's sunk into my bones. Kieran sits across from me, his face half-shadowed, and for the first time, I see him not as the alpha who took me, but as a man. Young. Maybe only a year or two older than my 22 years. And terrified, though he hides it well. Tell me about the curse, I say finally. Really tell me. Not the prophecy version. Your version. He's quiet for so long I think he won't answer. Then. I was 5 when I watched my father die. He was strong, healthy, the most powerful alpha in 3 generations. Then midnight struck on his 25th birthday, and he just stopped. His heart gave out like someone had reached into his chest and crushed it. Kieran's hands clench into fists. My mother screamed for hours. I hid under my bed and put my hands over my ears, but I could still hear her. Still hear the way hope dies. I'm sorry, I whisper. I have 6 days until my 25th birthday. He looks up, and his eyes are full of centuries of grief. 6 days to find what my father couldn't, what my grandfather couldn't, what 20 generations of firstborn sons couldn't find. A way to break a curse born from cruelty and betrayal. Why did your ancestor do it? I ask. Why did he hurt the silver wolf woman? Power. Kieran's voice is bitter. She had something he wanted. The ability to walk between worlds, to commune with the moon herself. He thought he could take it from her. Bind her power to himself through force. Did it work? For about 10 seconds. Then her power consumed him from the inside out. He survived, barely, but the damage was done. She cursed him with her dying breath. He stares into the flames. Funny thing about curses born from violation, they poison everything they touch. My family has been paying for one man's greed for 300 years. I pull my knees to my chest. The oracle said I have to choose you freely. What does that mean, exactly? His gaze meets mine, and the intensity there makes my breath catch. A mate bond. It's the deepest connection 2 wolves can share. Souls intertwined. Emotions shared. Where you feel what I feel, and I feel what you feel. Forever. That sounds terrifying. It is, he admits. It's also the most sacred thing in our culture. Which is why most wolves spend years finding their true mate. And why I hate that I'm asking you to do it in days with a stranger. The fire crackles between us. I should be angry. I should be planning my escape. Instead, I find myself asking, what was she like? The woman your ancestor hurt? Kieran looks surprised by the question. The texts say she was fierce. Beautiful. That she could call down moonlight and walk through dreams. That wolves and humans alike sought her wisdom. He pauses. They say she loved easily and trusted too much. That she thought she could change him. She sounds brave. She sounds like you. The words hang in the air between us, heavy with meaning I'm not ready to examine. I'm not brave, I say finally. I've been running my whole life. You're here, aren't you? Facing a destiny you never asked for a people who aren't even your own. Kieran leans forward, and the firelight turns his eyes to molten silver. That's not running, Elara. That's the bravest thing I've ever seen. Something in my chest cracks open. Maybe it's exhaustion. Maybe it's the way he says my name like it's something precious. Maybe it's the recognition that we're both just people crushed under the weight of our ancestors' choices. Tell me something true, I whisper. Something that has nothing to do with curses or prophecies or destiny. He considers this, then. I'm terrified of the dark. Have been since I was a child. I sleep with candles burning because the darkness feels like dying. I don't expect the confession, and it makes him seem suddenly, achingly human. I hate being Omega, I offer in return. Everyone thinks we're weak, submissive. But the power inside me, it doesn't feel weak. It feels like I'm carrying a star that could go supernova at any moment. Show me, he says softly. What? Your power. The silver flame. You don't have to hide it here. Not with me. My heart hammers against my ribs. No one has ever asked to see it. Everyone has only ever wanted it buried, forgotten, destroyed. Slowly, I extend my hand palm up. I breathe deep and let the walls I built crumble just a little. The flame comes like a whisper, cold fire that dances across my skin in silver ribbons. It doesn't burn me. It never has. Instead, it feels like coming home. Kieran watches with wonder written across his face. It's beautiful. You're not afraid? I'm terrified, he admits. But not of you. Of failing you. Of dying before I can understand why the universe brought you into my life. He reaches out slowly, giving me every chance to pull away. When I don't, his finger touches the edge of the silver flame. The world shifts. Suddenly I feel everything he feels. The bone-deep exhaustion of carrying a death sentence, the desperate hope that maybe this time will be different, the awful loneliness of being the last of a dying line. And underneath it all, a yearning so profound it makes my throat tight. He gasps, and I realize he's feeling me too, my fear, my grief for my mother, my desperate need to matter, to be more than the cursed girl everyone abandoned. We pull apart, both breathing hard. I see you, he whispers, echoing the oracle's words. All of you. The fear and the fire and the strength you don't even know you have. And Alara, you're not cursed. You're extraordinary. Tears spill down my cheeks before I can stop them. No one has ever called me extraordinary. No one has ever looked at my power and seen anything but danger. I don't know if I can do this, I admit. Save you. Save myself. Be what everyone needs me to be. Then don't be what they need. Be what you are. He shifts closer, close enough that I can count the silver flecks in his eyes. And whatever you decide at the end of 7 days, I'll accept it. Even if it means my death. Your choice matters more than my survival. Why? Because breaking a curse born from violation with another violation defeats the purpose. You deserve agency. You deserve a choice. His voice drops to barely a whisper. You deserve to be free, even if that freedom costs me everything. And in that moment, I understand, this is what makes him different from his ancestor. This is what makes him worth saving. I don't kiss him. Not yet. But I let myself lean into his warmth, let him wrap an arm around my shoulders, and for the first time since my mother died, I don't feel completely alone. The next 3 days pass in a strange dreamlike rhythm. Kieran and I trained together in the temple grounds. Him teaching me to channel my power, me learning the ways of pack politics and werewolf culture I was denied. The silver flame grows stronger under his guidance. I learn to shape it, to call it forth and send it back without fear. And with each passing hour, I feel the mate bond beginning to form, thin threads of connection that sing between us even when we're rooms apart. I'm starting to believe this might work. Maybe I can break 6 elder wolves who sweep into the temple with authority and barely concealed disdain. Prince Kieran, the eldest, says, a woman with steel-gray hair and eyes like chips of ice. We need to speak. Privately. I start to leave, but Kieran catches my hand. Anything you say to me, you can say in front of Alara. The woman's lip curls. Very well. We've consulted with our own seers, studied the ancient texts. And we believe we found another way to break the curse. One that doesn't require binding you to an unknown omega of questionable lineage. My stomach drops. There is no other way, Kieran says flatly. The oracle was clear. The oracle is old and sentimental, another council member cuts in. But the texts speak of a secondary method. A sacrifice of power to power. The silver wolf's flame, given freely, can be absorbed into your bloodline. It would break the curse and elevate our pack to unprecedented strength. Absorbed? I hear myself ask, though I already know I won't like the answer. The gray-haired woman looks at me like I'm an insect. Your power would be transferred to the Alpha. It would burn out your wolf completely, leaving you human. A small price to pay for saving the realm, wouldn't you say? The world tilts. You want to take my power? Leave me. It's the logical solution, she continues as if I haven't spoken. You'd live. The prince would live. And our pack would rise to dominance. Everyone wins. Except me. My voice is shaking. I'd lose everything that makes me who I am. You'd lose a burden you've carried your whole life, she counters. Isn't that what you wanted? To be normal? I look at Kieran, desperately needing him to tell them no, to defend me, to choose me over this convenient solution. He's staring at the floor. Kieran? I whisper. Give us a moment, he tells the council, and they file out with smug satisfaction. The silence that follows is deafening. You're considering it. It's not a question. He runs a hand through his hair, and I see the war in his eyes. Elara, you have to understand. If there's a way that doesn't require you to bond your entire life to me, doesn't that make more sense? You'd be free. Truly free. Free? The silver flame erupts across my hands without my conscious command. You mean powerless. You mean erased. You mean humans in a world of wolves. You hate your power. You said so yourself. I hate that it scares people. I'm shouting now, and I don't care that the council can probably hear every word. I hate that everyone sees it as a curse or a weapon or something to exploit. But it's mine. It's the only thing I have left of my mother, of my bloodline, of who I actually am. Kieran reaches for me, and I jerk away. Don't. Don't you dare touch me after, my voice breaks. I trusted you. I thought you were different from your ancestors. I thought you understood what it meant to choose freely. I do. That's why I'm telling you about the alternative. So you can choose. There is no choice. The temple walls tremble as my power surges. You're giving me the illusion of agency while making it clear what you actually want. What your pack needs. And you know what the worst part is? Tears stream down my face, but I'm too angry to wipe them away. I was starting to fall for you. I was starting to think maybe this bond could be real, that maybe I could have something that was mine for once in my life. But you're just like everyone else. You just want what I can give you. That's not fair. Life isn't fair. I scream, and the silver flame explodes outward in a shockwave that sends Kieran stumbling backward. You took me. You made me hope. And now you're asking me to give up the only thing I have left because it's more convenient for your pack. The oracle appears in the doorway, her blind eyes somehow seeing everything. Enough. Both of you. She moves between us, her ancient power making my wild flame seem like a candle. Prince Kieran. The council lies. There is no secondary method. They seek to steal what they cannot earn, the silver wolf's power without the balance of the bond. It would corrupt them utterly and leave this girl a hollow shell. Kieran's face goes white. What? But they said. They said what they needed to say to manipulate you both. To make the prince doubt his path and the girl doubt his heart. The oracle turns her milky gaze on me. And it worked, didn't it? One whisper of doubt, and 3 days of trust crumbles to ash. I'm shaking, silver flame still crackling across my skin. He believed them. He considered it. He considered whether there was a way to give you freedom, the oracle corrects gently. That does not make him your enemy, child. But I'm not listening anymore. I can't. The betrayal is too fresh, too deep. I've spent my whole life being told I'm too much, too dangerous, too other. And for 3 days, I let myself believe someone finally saw me as something more. I was wrong. I need Heir, I manage, and I'm running before anyone can stop me, through the temple, past the shocked council members, into the forest beyond. Behind me, I hear Kieran calling my name. I won't look back. I run until my lungs burn and my legs give out, collapsing in a clearing where ancient stones form a circle beneath the night sky. The full moon hangs heavy overhead. There are 3 days left until Kieran's birthday. 3 days until he dies. And I don't know if I care anymore. I've spent hours here, letting the silver flame burn freely, not caring who sees or what they think. The power feels good. Right. Like I'm finally giving voice to everything I've kept buried. Then I hear it. Howls. Not Kieran's pack. Marcus and the Northern Coalition burst into the clearing, at least 20 wolves surrounding me in seconds. Well, Marcus grins, already half-shifted, his humanity slipping away. Looks like a lover's quarrel split up the happy couple. How convenient for us. I struggle to my feet, calling the silver flame to my hands. Stay back. Or what? You'll burn us? He laughs. Go ahead, little Omega. Burn yourself out trying to fight us all. Then we'll take what's left of you, absorb your power properly, and rule the realm ourselves. The Oracle said. The Oracle protects the temple. We're not in the temple anymore. His eyes gleam red. You're in our territory now. And you're all alone. The wolves close in, and I realize with cold clarity, this is how I die. Torn apart by power-hungry alphas who want to harvest me like I'm a resource instead of a person. Just like Kieran's ancestor tried to do to my foremother. The cycle continues. The curse perpetuates. Nothing ever changes. Unless. I look up at the full moon, and I swear I can feel her looking back. I think of my mother's last words, "You are not a curse, Elara. You are a reckoning." And I finally understand what she meant. You want my power? I ask Marcus, and my voice is eerily calm. You want to take what isn't yours, just like his ancestor did? Just like bullies and tyrants have done for 300 years? I spread my arms wide, and the silver flame erupts, not wild, not chaotic, but controlled. Purposeful. It spirals up my body in intricate patterns, and suddenly I'm not just holding the flame. I am the flame. Then come and try. Marcus lunges. I don't move. The moment his claws touch the silver fire, he screams. The flame doesn't burn his flesh, it burns his intent, his greed, his violence. It shows him every awful thing he's ever done, every life he's crushed in his hunger for power. He falls back, whimpering, and I'm moving now, not fighting, but dancing. The flame responds to my will like an extension of my body. It forms barriers between me and the wolves, creates cages of light that hold them without harming them. You can't take this from me, I say, and my voice echoes with something older than myself, carrying on my mother's memory and her mother's before her. This power chooses. It cannot be stolen, cannot be forced, cannot be bent to cruelty. That's the lesson your greed blinded you to. More wolves try to rush me. The silver flame catches them, holds them, shows them their own reflections until they collapse, broken by the weight of their own souls. Then I feel it, another presence entering the clearing. Kieran appears with a handful of his pack, and the look on his face when he sees me wreathed in silver fire and moonlight is something I'll never forget. Not fear. Not greed. Wonder. Pure, undiluted wonder. Elara, he breathes. Marcus struggles to his feet, snarling. This isn't over. We'll come back with more wolves, more power. No, the Oracle's voice rings out as she materializes from the shadows, and with her, I sense dozens of other presences, the spirits of every silver wolf who came before me, awakened by my finally embracing what I am. You violated sacred ground and ancient law. You threatened the one who bears the mark. The punishment is exile. Leave now, or face the wrath of the first moon. The earth beneath Marcus's feet begins to glow with blue fire, and he scrambles backward, his pack already fleeing into the forest. "This isn't over," he shouts, but they're already gone, and the clearing falls silent except for the whisper of wind through trees. I lower my arms, and the silver flame subsides, but it doesn't vanish. It settles under my skin like a contented cat, finally at home. Kieran approaches slowly, hands raised to show he means no harm. "Elara. I'm so sorry. The council lied, and I should have trusted you from the start. I should have known there are no shortcuts, no easy solutions. Just choices. You were trying to give me a way out," I say quietly. Exhausted suddenly. "I understand that now. But Kieran. I don't want a way out anymore." His eyes widened. "What?" I step closer, and the bond between us, those thin threads that have been growing for days, suddenly blazes bright. I've spent my whole life trying to be less than I am. Trying to hide, to shrink, to apologize for existing. But tonight I finally understand what my power is really for. I take his hand, and silver fire dances between our joined fingers, warm and welcoming. It's not a weapon. It's not a curse. It's a reckoning for anyone who tries to take without asking, to control without consent, to own what should be free. And the mate bond? His voice is barely a whisper. I choose it. I choose you. Not because a prophecy says I should, or because your pack needs me to, or because I want to be a hero. I meet his eyes, and for the first time since he took me, I feel like we're truly equals. I choose you because you've seen every broken piece of me and didn't try to fix them. Because you understand what it means to be crushed by destiny. Because when I burn, you don't run. Tears stream down his face. You shouldn't have to save me. I'm not saving you. I place my palm over his heart, feeling it race beneath my touch. I'm choosing to be bound to someone who sees me as more than my power. Someone who's willing to die rather than violate my autonomy. Someone who makes me believe that maybe curses can be broken and cycles can be ended. The oracle's voice drifts through the clearing, soft and satisfied, then speak the words, "Silver Wolf." And let 300 years of suffering finally end. I take Kieran's other hand, and we stand palm to palm under the full moon, silver flame winding between us like blessed chains. I, Elara of the Silver Wolf bloodline, choose you, Kieran, Crown Prince of the Moonstone Pack. I bind my soul to yours, freely given, without coercion, without regret. May our bond break what was broken and heal what was harmed. The words come from somewhere deep and ancient, and as I speak them, I feel Kieran's heart as if it were my own. The desperate relief, the overwhelming gratitude, the beginning of something that might, impossibly, be love. He speaks his own vow, voice shaking with emotion. I, Kieran, Crown Prince and last of my line, choose you, Elara. I bind my soul to yours, and swear on the moon herself that you will never be a prisoner, never be a possession. You are my equal, my chosen, my mate. The bond snaps into place. The world explodes into sensation. I feel everything he feels, and he feels everything I feel. It should be overwhelming, but instead, it's like finding the other half of myself I didn't know was missing. The silver flame surges up between us, impossibly bright, and then it spreads flowing from me into him, wrapping around the curse mark on his chest. The mark, black and writhing like a living thing, screams as the silver fire burns it away. Kieran cries out, falling to his knees, and I fall with him, holding on as the curse fights its death. I see visions, 20 generations of men dying, women screaming, children orphaned. 300 years of suffering compressed into moments. Then, with a sound like breaking glass, the curse shatters. The clearing floods with light so bright I have to close my eyes. When I open them again, Kieran's chest is unmarked. The curse is gone. He's breathing hard, looking at me with something like reverence. I can feel you. Everything you're feeling. I know. I can barely speak through the emotions flooding our bond. Me too. You're terrified and exhilarated and exhausted and his voice cracks. You're in love with me. I can't hide it anymore. Not with our souls bound together. Yes. Against all logic and reason, I fell for the alpha who kidnapped me. He laughs, and the sound is pure joy. I love you too. Have since the moment you told me you weren't anyone's sacrifice. We should probably get up. The Oracle is watching, his pack is witnessing, and we're kneeling in the dirt like fools. But I can't bring myself to care. For the first time in my life, I'm exactly where I belong. As dawn breaks over the clearing, painting the world in shades of gold and rose, I think about choices. My mother chose love over safety when she kept me despite my power. Kieran's ancestor chose greed over honor, and it poisoned his bloodline for centuries. The Silver Wolf woman chose to curse rather than let her murder go unanswered. And I chose to stop running. The Oracle approaches as Kieran and I finally rise, still holding hands, the mate bond thrumming between us like a living thing. You did it, child, she says softly. You broke a curse 300 years in the making. We broke it, I correct, squeezing Kieran's hand. Together. Yes. The Oracle smiles. That's the lesson your foremother hoped someone would finally learn. Power is not meant to be taken. It's meant to be shared. Freely. Equally. She turns to leave, then pauses. But know this, Silver Wolf. You may have broken one curse, but you've also awakened something that's been sleeping for a very long time. The world will take notice of what you've done here. And not everyone will be pleased. The words send a chill down my spine, but when I look at Kieran, at my mate, my choice, my equal, I find courage I didn't know I possessed. Let them come, I say. I'm done hiding. Here's what I want you to think about tonight, as you lie in the dark. If you were her, the Omega everyone said was cursed, the girl everyone abandoned, would you have chosen to bind your soul to save someone else? Would you have embraced a power the whole world told you to bury? Would you have stopped running and started fighting? Or would you have chosen safety over destiny, solitude over connection, fear over love? There's no wrong answer. We're all just trying to survive our own curses, break our own chains, find our own power in a world that keeps telling us to be smaller. But maybe Alara's story reminds us that we don't have to accept the cages others build for us. That we can choose who sees us, really sees us, and let them in. That we can burn bright even when everyone expects us to dim. If this story lit something inside you, if you felt her fear, her rage, her impossible hope, then don't let it end here. Subscribe to Moonlight Mate Stories. Ring that bell. Because we tell the tales that burn. The stories about the outcasts who become legends. The misfits who refuse to be tamed. The lovers who choose each other even when the whole world says no. And trust me. Alara's story? This is just the beginning. Drop a comment telling me, are you Team Alara? Team Kieran? Or are you Team burn it all down and start over? Because your voice matters. Your story matters. And here at Moonlight Mate Stories, we see you. All of you. Now go out there and be extraordinary. As Alara and Kieran walk hand in hand toward the temple, their bond new and bright and fragile, neither notices the shadows that gather at the edge of the clearing. Neither sees the figure watching from the darkness, ancient, patient, wearing a face that shifts and changes like smoke. The curse is broken. Yes. But curses, they're like seeds, aren't they? Even when you think you pulled them out by the root, sometimes they've already spread. The figure smiles, and when it speaks, its voice echoes with centuries. She is not the only one who carries silver flame. And he is not the only one who bears the weight of his bloodline. The first alpha is waking. And when he rises, the girl who broke his curse will wish she'd let it stand. The ground trembles. In the temple, the Oracle gasps, her blind eyes seeing something that makes even her ancient heart freeze.